We're going to turn now to a valued speaker, someone who is an experienced speaker, Didier Coeurnelle. He is co-chair of Healthy Life Extension Society and a spokesperson for the French association Technoprog. He is a board and founding member of the International Longevity Alliance. He is also a board member of Humanity Plus and has been longstanding in the longevity community and has taken an ardent look at political structures within Europe through the technoprogressive lens. It is my pleasure to welcome Didier. Thank you.
Hello. So thank you very much. I will speak about the future of a green future, I would say, because the Association Française Transhumaniste Technoprog a few months ago decided to have a big text about these questions. Before beginning, I would like to speak about a few facts and figures concerning the situation at the moment. So we are destroying our environment since very long, actually. So probably even before being fully human, we were even probably killing Neanderthals more than 100,000, more than 40,000 years ago. We were very probably destroying a big part of the megafauna in Australia 20,000 years ago. And we are sure that already during Roman times, there was pollution that we can see today in the Greenland ice. In some areas, we are destroying faster than ever. We use more fossil energy than ever for coal, for gas, and for oil. We produce more greenhouse gases than ever, and we probably destroy more biodiversity than ever. In some aspects, the worst seems to be behind us. So this famous book, Silent Spring of 1962, speaking about the disparition of birds, well, nothing happened, but I will come back to this. Ozone depletion seems to be, for a big part, behind us. Also, acid rains, the idea of overpopulation like a global, very big problem. So there was this book in 1968, Population Bomb was a famous book. So it didn't happen. Overpopulation is not anymore a problem except in sub-Saharan countries. And it seems that the nightmare of a nuclear global war is for a big part behind us. Okay, so until now it's fine, but in some aspects, the worst could be ahead of us. So there is, of course, the question of the global warming plus. So global warming, 2 or 3 degrees, it would be a big problem, but not something existential, but you have with a snowball effect. There is the question, I will come back to this, the insectagadon, so insects vanishing fast, toxic cocktails, and, well, the so-called existential risk, including things that we don't know yet about technological progress and the consequences for environment. In the text that was approved by the Association Française Transhumaniste, we have 4 main principles. So to use as much as possible and as fast as possible renewable energy, to have systematic reuse, repair, and recycle, to promote collective research, and to promote collective reflections and decisions. This means also at the same time 2 aspects who can be seen as radically different, but there is the notion very familiar for many transhumanists of radical abundance, but there is also the notion of radical decrease. So in French we use the word décroissance. So sometimes it's important, and for some aspects, it's very important to have a radical decrease of the use of some materials and let's say some evolutions. About renewable energy, so the first problem is probably not how to capture energy in a more efficient way, because we have a lot of renewable energy. So the sun, the energy given by the sun in 1 hour is enough to power the world in 1 year. So to power the energy used by the humanity in 1 year. And we have water, wind, geothermal power. So there is no big problem there. The biggest problem is actually more to store energy. So there was a beautiful speech yesterday about this, about batteries. You can also use water, earth, air. But to progress in these domains, we need more technology. There is this sensitive question. I'm sure that a lot of you are thinking, no, yes, but nuclear energy. So I know that risk concerning nuclear energy are exaggerating, but still, decommissioning is a very expensive process. Nuclear energy is a very centralized way to use energy, to produce energy, sorry, and fusion is still far away. I remember when I was a kid, it's about more than 40 years ago, I read an article in the newspaper saying fusion, it will be in 20 years and it will be the beautiful energy. And we are still 20 years from this beautiful energy. And let's be honest, the biggest problem at the moment is that public opinion will not change easily. So it's better to choose for the classical renewable energy in place of nuclear energy. Next point is about reuse, repair, recycle. So 3 years, and even 4, in my opinion. So we have to be against built-in obsolescence, but actually, well, sometimes exaggerated, in favor of long use. Repair must be attempted. For me, it's something funny that when software is not working, we are always trying to repair it, and we do it in most cases successfully. But when our mobile phone is not working anymore because of, let's say, hardware problem, we are not even able to try to repair it. So recycling must be systematic for everything non-biodegradable, and it has to be first organized for the most toxic things, of course. Regulations are absolutely needed to oblige people and to oblige companies to change. But when I say regulations, it's not bureaucracy, it's not complex things, it's proactivity to make it possible to have these 3 R's more rapidly. Now, a few words about the nature. So, as transhumanists, of course, we know that pure nature doesn't exist, that biodiversity can be helped with DNA research, that there are already quite a few projects to change and to recreate animals of the past. We also know that we need to develop clean meat, so based on cells, based of creating without animals suffering, and also with a world with less risk of diseases created by all animal industry. But what we still forget is the problem of the disparition of the insects vanishing very, very fast. You probably heard about these statistics coming from Germany. So there they are measuring the number of insects since many years, and they were seeing that the population of insects seems to be really diminished by 75%. So it is urgent to understand more about why is it really happening and what are the risks of this. Well, geoengineering, we have to use it, especially against the global warming, so especially for carbon capture, but it must not be an excuse to slow down renewable energy. That is very important, because if it isn't so, if it is used to say, okay, things will go better later, let's not invest in this today, it could be a very bad situation in a not so far future. And geoengineering has to be used only when it is possible to reverse it. Now, the main point for me is about radical longevity and human enhancements. So it is only if, well, only, it is more if we know that we are going to be able to live much longer, that we are going to be more careful for the environment, that we can think on a more long term. And of course, a healthy environment is very important to live already for longer. Air pollution is a big factor concerning so the fact that we are losing years of healthy life. Food, good food is also a very important factor, and there are other environment aspects. In general, to have a sustainable body, to have sustainable bodies, we need absolutely a sustainable environment. When we are going to take a look, I will say, further in the future, we could somehow, someday, rewrite ourselves, change ourselves. One very important aspect is education and neuro enhancement. To be more careful for the environment, we could be able to change ourselves. To also to become more careful in general, to become less violent, to be capable of more solidarity, to be able of more empathy. Also, well, transhumanists say sometimes that it is important to keep our planet, but also we have to think that one day, like this famous guy said, famous Russian guy said, the earth is the cradle of humanity, but we cannot live in the cradle for forever. So yes, we could enhance ourselves to go somewhere else in space. We could enhance ourselves for this, but it's not a reason, of course, to destroy or to pollute our cradle. What I think that we should do as fast as possible. First, a few lessons concerning the COVID-19 well, experiment. Not really an experiment that we choose, but still. So we know that many things and also many aspects of the public opinion can change very, very fast. Really, in a few weeks, there are things that we could not imagine and that we are now taking for the normal way of life. Also, many green people were saying until a few months ago that all things related to the development of the internet and to digitalization, this was going to cost us more energy, especially to cost us more electricity. We know that it's not true. So it's not true for energy in general, but it's even not true for electricity. And we know that with a lot of money, plus mobilization, plus good scientists, we have good results. But let's say, for me, this was maybe one of the big deceptions of the last month. So first, there was incredible good science, and then the results are not so extraordinary when you take a look at what we know already, today about the COVID-19. Well, we know a lot, but there are also so many things that we don't know. And also so many things where there are many disagreements. For example, the famous example of hydrochloroquine, but there are many others. masks and so on. So we need more coordination and we need more really open science. The priorities are scientific research for better ways to store energy and to generate it, but really to store energy is the most important. Scientific research for better reparation and recycling. Scientific research to better understand insect agadon and to better understand so why is pollution, air pollution seems to be so bad in this case, and is there some exaggeration or are there some mistakes in this constatation of disappearance of insects? We don't know. We have to understand more of that. And of course, when we will know to take radical measures. And yeah, we need accelerated research for automation and for artificial intelligence first in these fields. For me, that's in a way very totally crazy than as far as I know, but maybe somebody knows more about that. As far as I know, when you take a look at the waste plants, there is actually nothing, well, not much really automated. In an ideal world, we should have a system where all waste is going to a place and where artificial intelligence plus robots are separating things and recycling it systematically. So I think that it is always important to remember that, well, for transhumanists, this is no secret. Today is the best day of the history of humanity, and tomorrow will be probably again the best day of the history of humanity. But in many aspects, today is also the worst or the most dangerous day of the history of humanity. And that's why we have to be very careful for a green future. So conclusion before the debate. And I hope that we will have a beginning of discussion, and I hope that we will have also discussions later about these conclusions and about all the documents concerning these aspects of green future. So beware of greenwashing, beware of open science washing, beware of green apocalypticism. For these three aspects. This is probably not a problem for the people here, but also beware of what I would call transhumanist determinism. So some transhumanists are saying that that it's for sure that we will be immortal. Well, I prefer the word immortal. It's for sure that the world is to change in a good way. That's not certain. Well, actually, if we were certain about this, we would not need this conference, and we would not need many conferences to make people understand. And you know, most people are afraid of the future for many bad reasons, but for a few good reasons also. So it's very important to explain. We have to explain. And I think that we have to make technology for the future kind of a common good. Technology for the future, especially technology for the future of health and the future of environment. So that's already it for today. I want to live for at least 200 years so that at the end I'm able to speak English correctly, but I think 200 years will not be enough. You can take a look at the document that I was quoting and speaking about. Here you have the URL. Of course, if we don't have time enough now, I will be happy to answer questions by email and during other activities. Thank you.